Queued up.
Our members also help us give back through grants, scholarships, random acts of kindness, and more. Thousands of Arizonans have already joined Desert Financial, located inside the Payson Walmart.
That's right. We want to thank Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring today's Rim Country Community Spotlight program. Chris Higgins in the studio, and hope you are having a wonderful Tuesday wherever you are and whatever you're doing. You can also watch us on our KRIM FM Facebook page or YouTube channel. So going to get on our Facebook page right now and see who's watching this morning. And this morning in the studio each month on, and I always forget, it is the second Tuesday of every month, we have Secrets of Healthy, Happy People with Erleen Tilton. So good morning, Erleen.
Good morning. It's a beautiful day and it's wonderful to be in here. So
It is. It's been gorgeous out. The weather, I know, a little bit chillier, today, and the wind. It's been a little windy, but it's still beautiful out there.
absolutely.
It is. And so today on Secrets of Healthy, Happy People, you're going to be talking about leaky gut and the connection with autoimmune dysfunction.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You know, I'm a health coach
Mhm.
and a nutritionist, and as I work with people, one of the number one things that they will tell me is that they have pain in their gut. They have discomfort.
Mm-hmm.
And they name all these gut issues that they're having, and it's interesting that we are having so many gut issues and people are just trying to treat the symptom but not really get to the root of the problem. So to me, this is helping us understand, let's get to the root of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we're going to go over today,
Mm-hmm.
is really looking at that.
Okay. And so how many people do you know that have autoimmune disease? Is this very prevalent?
Actually, it is. There's so many people, and if you look at the list,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of put down a few things that most of us don't realize, that even allergies,
Mm-hmm.
IBS, and all those gut disorders, GERD, all of those just seem typical maybe
Mm-hmm.
and would go along with this. But if you look at the food sensitivities, the chronic fatigue, anxiety, depression, migraines, Parkinson's, restless legs, skin inflammations,
Mm-hmm.
type 1 and 2 diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
All of these are considered autoimmune disease. Well, what is autoimmune disease and what is causing it? Well, the one thing that more and more research continues to tell us is that there's a connection between leaky gut and autoimmune diseases.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really interesting because I don't think that that's mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
We are not hearing this from our mainstream medical professionals. We're hearing it from a lot of other research that's being done mainly.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to really understand what this is because it really affects so many areas of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And so we need to understand what this is.
Mm-hmm. And on this list that you have here, and there's a lot more too: fibromyalgia, Hashimoto's, liver malfunction, Parkinson's, just a lot of different issues that people experience, and they can all be caused by one thing.
Leaky gut. And you
Yeah,
know, the
wow.
interesting thing too is we look at the children and how many problems that they are experiencing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Children at a very young age are experiencing all of these problems simply because they have leaky gut.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really important to understand what leaky gut is and really how we can address this. So this is important for all of us to understand.
Mm-hmm. So leaky gut, I would imagine, deals mainly with the bacteria in our gut.
Actually, we have our gut
Mm-hmm.
really should have about 85% positive bacteria and 15% negative. We do have our stomach acids and the food that's coming in, so that does play a role in the negative bacteria. But most of us are not feeding our bodies the right food. For instance, if we need 85% positive bacteria, that really goes back to how many vitamins and minerals and nutrients, the probiotics, the enzymes, all of those, along with our healthy eating,
Mm-hmm.
must contribute to that. And most people are not getting all of those things
Mm.
on a regular basis. And so their gut bacteria or microbiome ends up being in a very, very negative
Mm-hmm.
side of this. And so that's a number one thing that we really need to understand.
Mm-hmm. Now, you've done a lot of research on this topic, and you've mentioned that one of your favorite sources is a book, and I love the title, Eat Dirt.
Eat Dirt by
Eat Dirt.
Dr. Josh Axe.
Mm-hmm.
And he really goes through this. So if people really want a more in-depth
Mm-hmm.
understanding of this, I would recommend getting that book, because it really helps you understand not only the process, what's going through, but basically he kind of walks you through the process of what's going on. And he says it starts with our processed foods. We have these, the white sugar, white flour, the high carb foods, and we don't realize that all those nutrients and enzymes and probiotics are removed from there, and chemicals are replaced. It's not a good replacement.
Mm-hmm.
So all of those get in our gut, and what actually happens is they don't move through the gut. There's no fiber,
Mm-hmm.
so they kind of just rot and decay in our gut. And so it sits there and it creates inflammation in the intestinal lining. Then it creates malabsorption. It starts breaking down that epithelial layer.
Mm-hmm.
And basically we say the soldiers in our army, get overtaken by all of this, and it starts making perforations, which is the leaky gut part. It creates those perforations in that gut lining.
Mm-hmm.
And then it allows undigested matter to go through into the bloodstream. Well, that undigested food is really poop, that should keep going down
Yes.
and be discarded. It's your matter that needs to be discarded, but it's going out into the bloodstream. And what happens?
Mm-hmm.
Your bloodstream is fighting against this, and this is where we get the term, my body's fighting against itself. Well, how can that happen? Well, it's not natural. This stuff needs to keep going down our alimentary canal and our intestines, and it shouldn't be going into our bloodstream. Our bloodstream has to fight back.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where it creates that autoimmune response, and then the cycle just repeats itself. And then we have all different sorts of problems that arise from this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really starting by, what goes into our gut and what's creating that inflammation that creates that leaky gut.
And one of the sayings that, and I was just looking it up to see, because I've heard different comments regarding this phrase, but the phrase "you are what you eat."
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Just looking up, when it was spoken one time by a French author here. I don't want to say his name, but tell me what you eat, and I will tell you what you are.
Right.
Which it sounds, it's a little different. It's saying the same thing, but
Well, I think the important thing of this is people will say, yeah, I have an autoimmune issue. It's hereditary, and it's like, really, it's our choices. What we inherit most of the time is our habits.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't realize that we have way more control over our health conditions simply by our choices of foods. And that's why you are what you eat is so important to understand, because really the choices goes back on our own shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to make good choices.
Mm-hmm. No, and that's something that a little later in the program you're going to show us, because
Yes,
we're going to go
absolutely.
into the kitchen, and you're going to go over some recipes and
Yes.
show people how to make some very healthy meals, snacks, and how easy it is as well.
Yes,
That it doesn't have to be
absolutely.
hard.
Doesn't.
No. So, we look at the biggest culprits and causes of this, and you mentioned refined foods. And is it mainly because they're void of nutrients and fiber?
Right, and the enzymes and the probiotics, all of those things contribute to the fact that they have no reason to move through your gut. You've got to understand that when we're eating this high carb diet and it's really not moving through the gut, it does just sit there and rot and decay, and that's really one of our number one causes.
Mm.
And now additionally we've got our genetically modified foods. We genetically modified many of the foods today, and they're modified at the seed level so that they can repel the pests, but they end up as genetic misfits. Our bodies cannot assimilate them. They are, I mean, those genes don't equate to something that your body can actually assimilate, digest, break down, and utilize. And so those are real problems for our gut.
And then also, we've learned, or it's been shown, that antibiotics or other pharmaceuticals, where there is a place for them.
Absolutely.
And there are not saying that all of them are horrible and they shouldn't be around, because that's not the case. But unfortunately, I guess what we've seen is antibiotics overprescribed. And so when you take too many and they're killing all the bacteria,
Absolutely.
the bad and the good, it's not good for our gut.
Absolutely. And we understand that the more medications people are on, the harsher it is on your gut, because you find that people are on medications and then they're on another medication to counteract the side effects of this medication, and many times they're taking more medications to counteract the side effects than they are for the real problem itself. And again, we need to focus more on our gut health and really improving our gut function. And that again goes back to a lot of our choices.
We have Feather Perry. She's watching on the KRIM FM Facebook page. Hello, Feather. And she had a question, and she says or her comment is, if you've stopped eating sugar and processed or refined foods but still experience autoimmunity, what else can be done? I drink kombucha and eat a lot of probiotic and prebiotic foods as well.
Great.
So what else could be looked at if sugar and processed or refined foods are removed from the diet, but you're still experiencing some of these issues? What else?
Yeah, thank you, Heather, for asking that question, because is it Heather?
Feather.
Okay. Because that's exactly what we're going to go into next. But what I wanted to mention first is that unfortunately a lot of our doctors aren't really schooled on leaky gut, and they don't tell you really the process of what's going on, and they don't tell you that you can reverse it, but you really can. And so several things, I just want to go through these 8 steps that can really help us understand. There's 8 things that you can really do to go through this. And number 1 is obviously, what's the culprit? Let's get rid of the culprit, the white sugar, white flour, processed foods, because those actually create that inflammation in the gut lining, because they don't move through the gut, number 1. So number 2, and this is a super, super important part of this, all of this is really doing a thorough gut detox. People start eating the right foods and they try to do it that way, but if you don't do a thorough gut detox, you cannot heal your gut lining until you actually remove all of those things in your gut that are actually creating the inflammation to begin with. So you really need to do a gut detox to heal that lining in that epithelial layer. And that's super important. I have a 30-day protocol that I actually work with my clients to do in a 90-day period of time that I've found is very, very successful. That includes we're going to talk about a lot of these as we go through this, but this is really, really important because we want to heal our gut, and we've got to do that detox and really clean out our gut lining so that that we can heal that layer.
Now the next item is something that Feather mentioned that she is doing, and that is introducing the fermented foods into your diet.
Absolutely. Raw sauerkraut. Now, a lot of people say, well, I eat sauerkraut, or they buy it, but you've got to get the raw sauerkraut.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, we've learned that yogurt isn't that effective. There's so much sugar in yogurt, and it's not necessarily that effective. But there is kombucha. I like this Kivita better than kombucha, actually. But there's several probiotic drinks that are really good for there. A good probiotic, and that's one of our steps there. But also kimchi. There's other fermented foods that can be really good for feeding your gut that healthy probiotic for your gut microbiome.
And you also mentioned kefir.
Kefir is good.
Which is good. Yeah.
Yeah, more along those lines without the sugar and the dairy. If you can find that, that's the important part, because sometimes those will throw it all off.
And then the next thing would be, and I know you're always promoting this and encouraging and saying how important it is to eat whole.
Yep, eat whole. Just start with whole foods. I think that people don't realize how important this is. You've got to lay off the process and start eating whole. Start everything in a whole food form, and especially get more fruits and vegetables in your diet, especially vegetables. People aren't getting those vegetables that they need. Their leafy greens, the vitamins, the minerals, the fiber, the enzymes. Eat them raw a lot. We just need those raw enzymes, that fiber, and those nutrients that we're not often getting with our whole foods.
And something you like to use in a lot of your recipes, I've noticed nuts and seeds as well.
Nuts and seeds are good because they're, again, packed with good healthy fats, fiber, and nutrients that are really nourishing. And so those are very, very good, important.
And then probiotics.
Probiotics. It's good to take an extra probiotic daily to actually make sure that you're supplying your gut with healthy probiotics. Unfortunately, most of the probiotics that are on the market are either not live, or worse is they are, you look on the labels and it talks about all these billions IUs, but you've got to understand that most of it is killed in your stomach. That's why there's billions and billions, and they hope some of it survives. So the idea is to make sure that you get a probiotic, and I have one that's really good. It's called PB Assist. It has a prebiotic that feeds your probiotic, but it also is double encapsulated, so that inner capsule actually makes it all the way to your small intestines, where you want that. You want that protection all the way to your small intestines. And most of it, if it's just in a capsule, unfortunately gets killed, and so you don't get the benefits of all those billions of units that you really need. So
makes sense.
Yeah.
And then along those lines, taking a good balanced multivitamin, minerals, omega, antioxidants.
Yes, those are all important. And again, what people are buying, we have a multi-million-dollar industry with supplements, and unfortunately most of them are synthetic. And so people spend so much money on supplements, and they're giving these to their kids, and unfortunately they're just going down the toilet. They're not assisting them at all. They're not getting to the cellular level. The essential oils in my supplement actually take it to the cellular level, which is really, really helpful. You really need a supplement that's pure, that's whole food based, with the essential oils. It takes it to that cellular level so you can assimilate it, and your body can actually utilize it. And most of what people find out there is not that way, so unfortunately.
And then taking enzymes.
Enzymes are super, super important, and really on the gut detox, and what I do every day actually is I take my enzymes. I take something called Terrazyme that has been tested widely with a lot of other enzyme products out there, and it's really, really more effective. But if you take 2 of them on an empty stomach first thing in the morning when you get up, with a glass of water, as well as a couple of drops of lemon essential oil, it actually can break down the matter in your gut, which is super, super important. This is important for...
Please leave a message after the tone.
That Yeah, hello.
So that actually, the enzymes actually break down that matter in your gut that we're trying to get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually jumpstarts your metabolism so your gut can start moving in the morning. People, if they just start eating in the morning, you've done your body a big disservice.
Mm.
So start with a big glass of water and add the lemon essential oil in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the lemon, and what it really does is pull those petrochemicals out. But those enzymes start breaking down the matter in your gut. We need them with our heavy protein meals as well,
Mm-hmm.
but we need to help assist our body with that digestive process. And that's why those enzymes, raw enzymes, just with our raw foods are super important too. So it all matters.
Mm-hmm. And the last item, number 8 here on your list, is getting in the dirt. I guess going back to Dr. Axe's book, Eat Dirt.
Mhm.
Just connecting with the earth, soil. There's benefits there.
Absolutely, and especially in today's world, you look outside and you see concrete sidewalks and concrete pavement, and we see landscaping and rock lawns and
Mm-hmm.
artificial lawns, or even lawns themselves, and we don't get the dirt. We don't
Mhm.
walk in the dirt as
Mhm.
much as we used to.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have gardens like we should. So he encourages people, get a garden, grow a garden, get your hands out there, pull a carrot and wipe out the dirt, but don't wash it, scrub it. He says eat it, so that you're getting some of those microorganisms that are really healthy for you in the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
He's not saying eat spoonfuls, but he says
Yeah.
get in the
Oh, yeah.
dirt.
Yeah.
Walk in the dirt, get your hands in the dirt, and don't be afraid of the dirt itself. So I shun the bacteria, but we're talking about really good microorganisms that can really support a healthy gut.
Gotcha. And now this list and information on the gut detox, the 30-day gut detox that you mentioned earlier, can all be found on your website?
It can, and what I encourage people to do is go on there, erleentilton.com, and that's ERLEENTILTON.com, and just take the personal wellness assessment. It's free.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a way for you and I to be able to just connect and see if there's a way that I can help you. No pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I help so many people with the same thing. In fact, last week on one of the gals that I coach,
Mm-hmm.
and on our coaching call, she was saying, I've had gut pain and gut issues for so many years. And she says, I can't believe how much better I feel. Just within 3 or 4 weeks, I'm feeling so much better. No more gut pain. No more indigestion. My gut is happy. I have more energy. And she said, I had no idea that all the foods that I was eating was really creating such a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really good to hear that from her, after just a few weeks of really trying to stick with what I'm sharing here today.
Mm-hmm.
She's feeling so much better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to reverse. It's going to reverse that process for her like it can any of us, just by following these steps.
Mm-hmm.
So take that personal wellness assessment. It really is powerful.
There we go. And so we're about to head into the kitchen here at the KRIM Cottage. If you haven't seen the program before, first half hour, we're on the radio and streaming live on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. But then for the next 15 minutes, we're going to be in the kitchen, and Erleen is going to be showing all of us how to make paleo wraps, which these sound delicious. Avocado, sprouts, stir-fried chicken, onions, pepper, cilantro. Oh boy, that sounds so good. And also raw sauerkraut. Avocado chocolate carob pudding.
Yeah, it's actually so yummy.
Mm.
You'd never believe this was, in a foundation of avocado. It's really a yummy pudding.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then the kabita.
Yeah.
And also water with essential oils.
Yes, we have the water as well.
So again, that's where we're going to be heading now on our Facebook page. So if you're not watching, you can go on to KRIM FM and watch us in the kitchen. Watch, Erleen in the kitchen, and me just putting food in my mouth, because that's basically my role in the kitchen. But it's mainly to show everyone how easy it is to make healthy meals and snacks. So on the radio here, it's time to get back to more great music with some Van Halen, Huey Lewis in the News, Steely Dan, Led Zeppelin, and more. But first, let's get an update from the National Weather Service.
Right.
Now the KRIM weather forecast for Payson and surrounding areas. Nowcast meteorologist Kim Vaughn. For today, breezy with a chance of isolated showers. Becoming mostly sunny, high around 54. Southwest winds of 14 to 21 miles per hour. Tonight, clear with diminishing winds, low around 30. Wednesday, sunny and becoming breezy, high around 57. Wednesday night, clear, low around 36. And Thursday, sunny skies, high around 66. That's your latest weather forecast from KRIM 96.3 FM, the RIM Country's radio station.
This is Fred the DJ inviting you to an exciting program on KRIM. It's rock and roll rarities, and I'll be your link.
Hi, my name is Tom. I called about the ad for from now till Easter. I didn't get the email yet to my email, thefreehawk95@Yahoo. I'm sorry, thefreehawk95@gmail.com. THEFREEHAWK.
All right, there we go. And we are back in the kitchen, and oh boy, I cannot wait. The wraps. We were talking about the wraps on the radio. Avocado, chicken, sprouts.
Yes, well, we do have that, and we're going to put a little bit of red pepper sauce if that's what you like. So
Oh, yes.
you build it the way you want. But here's the way to make paleo wraps, and paleo is grain-free. And actually, next month we're going to really talk about why people don't use grains and kind of go from there. So, trying to get my pan hot and ready, but not too hot. So let me turn that down just a tiny bit. We don't want to overdo it. But actually, I made it up already so that we can do it quickly. But these wraps have egg and coconut milk, coconut cream, and basically that's about all it is. Tiny bit of oil and salt, and it's really awesome. So I usually measure about 1/4 cup per wrap, and so we'll hopefully it's not too hot. If it's too hot, then it kind of bubbles up. But you can see how easy these are to make. And the thing that I love these is I can make a whole batch up and put them in the refrigerator. They're nice, soft, and pliable, and they're awesome. So basically, you just pour a little bit in and roll it around like this. And so you've got that wrap right there, and it's a great tortilla. So it's actually pretty cool, and really it is mostly egg. So, but like I said, it cooks up pretty fast, and they're very, very simple. So you just blend all the ingredients in the blender, and then you cook them in. Now, if you have a larger skillet, just kind of do it in the middle of it.
Okay.
And it works, but I kind of like this one because it's kind of the size of a tortilla, and so it works pretty simply. But it doesn't take too long to do, and then we can kind of turn it over, and
Oh.
It's a great wrap or
Mhm.
kind of a tortilla. Like I said, this is more keto, paleo.
Okay.
But let me tell you, the thing about your gut, if you can cut down on those grains, especially the processed grains, this is just a really great way to be able to start, and just a great way to do it. And so it's just as simple as that. Whoops, almost lost it there. I'm going to put this up here. And
There we
sorry.
go. Oh no,
There.
that is all right.
But actually,
There
you
we
can
go.
fill it with, add some of the meat mixture. I did warm it up right before we got here, or right when we got here, and add a little bit of sprouts. And if you like some avocado, this is not a very great avocado, but we can get a little bit of it in the center.
Oh.
And
And so in the this is chicken and peppers, onions.
yes, it's got the onions. It's got a nice trio of stir-fried ingredients, and then we've got a little bit of avocado. Like I said, this is not the best avocado, unfortunately, but if you scrape that off,
There we
and
go.
then add a little bit of red pepper sauce. It's just really a nice wrap, and you can kind of see with see that it's actually a very nice wrap. And I enjoy making these because they're simple, and I can do them in no time. Doesn't take time at all to be able to do that.
Nope.
And so you have to see how.
Here we go, and here's the wrap right here. Now I'm horrible at this, and
Just
I usually
just
put
roll
two.
all the way.
Yeah, I usually put too much stuff in the burritos or whatever I'm making like this. So I tried not to do that this time. And there we go.
Yeah. Well, it just makes it simple, and like I said, this is grain-free, and we're going to do more grain-free next month, and try a number of things. But the thing I like about the egg too is that it doesn't break apart like sometimes your tortillas or wraps do. It's more, I don't know, it holds more together, and so it's a nice protein vegetable mix. So it's
Oh, that's
actually pretty
great.
good for being as simple as it is. So
Now the sprouts, they're bean sprouts, right?
actually, these are alfalfa sprouts.
Alfalfa?
Alfalfa, so they have a lot of good nutrients, good fiber. They're just packed with nutrients and fiber. So anyway, like I said, it's super simple, super tasty, and you can make a whole meal of this, and in minutes. In minutes you can make the whole meal with that. So
And it is holding up very well.
I know, isn't that amazing? Better than any tortilla that I've made. I really like this over all of them, and like I said, I can stack them in just on top of each other on a plate in my refrigerator, and the next day they don't break apart. You just warm them up, and they're awesome. They're actually really fun to make. And so it's kind of a fun thing to try and really enjoy doing more things grain-free and in a simple way that will just help to supply those nutrients for your gut and the fiber and the protein, fats, all of the healthy stuff that we want without any of that negative.
Wow, that's very good.
Good.
And now sauerkraut too, raw, but making sure it's
Now
raw.
this is raw sauerkraut, and you're welcome to try this as well.
Oh yeah.
Raw sauerkraut here's another fork that you can pull it out, is actually a really healthy probiotic, and it has a lot of great benefits. And so I encourage people to get the raw sauerkraut. It's just full of those good nutrients and probiotics that we need, and isn't that good? Yeah, so I do get this at Costco, but I try to buy a couple of them so that when I come up here I have a lot to go with for a little while. But this is, I'm sure you can get it at places here as well. So look for, well, I like this brand the best, the Wild Brain. It's just super tasty and so beneficial. It's got those.
It's very it's very bright. It's
Crunchy.
light.
Yeah.
crunchy. Yeah,
And if you
fresh.
I've compared it side by side to other sauerkrauts, like in the can or the bag or whatever. I mean, it's just, yeah, they're sour, but they're not, you can tell, huge difference.
And I guess that's the wrong word to use for a fermented food, fresh, but it just
It is
it's
fresh.
Nice.
It's not cooked.
It's
not
nice.
cooked. It's got all those good, healthy probiotics in there, and it's super fresh. So, just a couple of other drinks while we're talking about the probiotics. The Kivita or Kavita or whatever people say. This is, I think, I like it better than kombucha as far as the ingredients and the composition and what it does for you. I feel like it's a better choice. You're welcome to try it if you would like it.
Okay.
And
water kefir culture, so it has the kefir culture in there. Apple cider vinegar, which is great. Wow, coconut in there.
Yeah.
I love coconut water, just regular.
And so you can get.
And I should know not to shake it.
Don't shake it.
If you do shake it a little bit, you want to really open it slowly, because you can see all the bubbles there. And I like kombucha, coconut water. Oh yeah.
They have a lot of good things in there, and I think they can really assist your gut flora and build that. Now, additionally, while you're drinking there, well, tell me what you think.
Yeah, it's a little milder. It's milder than the kombucha. Not as strong. You can taste the coconut in there.
I just think the process is better, and you've got a lot of great benefits from that. So really consider this as an alternative or even a better source, I feel, than kombucha. But anyway, you can find this at most of your grocery stores and whatever. So
Yeah, that's very good.
now the other thing that I really recommend is just water with essential oils. Now this one actually has lemon, and I put a touch of spearmint in there too. And the thing I really recommend mostly drinking water most of the time is because we need to cleanse. We need to cleanse. And all of the other things people aren't drinking are not cleansing. And so this is a way to be able to still have, and I have a few drops of stevia in it.
Okay.
So it's just cleansing your gut and doing that on a consistent basis throughout the day. This is a great drink that I like to recommend, and I really enjoy it because it's got good essential oils that will actually help to cleanse your gut and help to restore that gut microbiome by healing your gut. And so that's what we want to do. We want to cleanse and heal your gut, and this is why this is so important. Now, last but not least is our avocado pudding. So this is actually carob, not chocolate, but a lot of people call it kind of a chocolate. And you can see how just nice and luscious. I mean, it's a nice thick pudding. And do you like nuts?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to put the nuts on them, and a few raspberries. Just makes it such a wonderful dessert. And it's really good for you. So anyway.
Oh, perfect. And that's something, the avocados, just very, very creamy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's it will have that nice consistency go.
Whoops.
Nice
Unless you want. Whatever.
I can use that plastic one.
Yeah.
There we go.
So you'll have to tell me what you think about it and if you like that. But it's, like I said, it's mostly avocados, coconut milk, coconut cream, a little bit of erythritol or monk fruit sweetening, which is a sugar alcohol. There's no carb, no glycemic, no calories. And so it's good for keto diets, but it doesn't also, or paleo diets, but it does not rot in your gut. And this is why I like that.
Well,
and we have just a little bit, we just have a touch of peppermint essential oil as well as lemon. And it just gives it a really nice flavor. A little bit of vanilla too. What do you think?
it's very good.
Would you ever know that it's mostly avocado? You taste avocado?
No, you wouldn't. At least I wouldn't. No, it's just very good. It's very creamy. The carob has a little more distinctive taste to it,
Okay.
versus chocolate. But I like the taste of carob. You can also was it spearmint peppermint?
I did put a little bit of pepper.
Yeah, there's a little bit of tingling.
Yeah.
So the peppermint, you get that.
Not overpowering, but just.
No, but the creaminess. And one of the things that you always say with these recipes is people can adjust according to their taste. So if they like a little more peppermint, taste to it or flavor, then you can add a little more. Or if you don't like that, you can take that out, and then you would have more of the other flavors coming through.
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, but it is good, and just the texture is wonderful.
Super
Yeah,
creamy.
so creamy.
So children love this, and like I said, you have a bowl for them and to enjoy and kind of make it up as a treat. They will just love it. And like I said, many of our children are dealing with these leaky gut issues, and it's creating all kinds of children challenges. And if we would just work to think about what we're putting in our guts and starting with whole, making sure that we're getting our water and add the essential oils to it, add the essential oils to your food, because those really help to support your gut lining as well as cleanse and really heal your gut. So starting with your whole foods and really sticking to it.
And one thing, when you're introducing these things to your spouse or children, it is a case where the flavors are a little different. So at first, it is a case where, okay, if you're used to chocolate, then, that's not chocolate pudding. That's
And you
not
could
the
do
same.
the cacao, though. You could put the cacao in the same way.
But it is a case where your taste buds, they adjust, where they'll adjust, and then you get used to the taste of that food. But more importantly, your body's going to be reacting positively to the food, and you're not going to have the stomach aches, the bowel issues, and other things that might be present that are being caused by the food. So that as well is going to kind of make you want to continue to eat this way. But just know that your taste buds do adjust over time to where, and you hear that if, from people when they stop eating sugar, and if they stop for 30 days, 60 days, a few months, half a year, and then they have something with sugar, refined sugar, it's super, super sweet. And that's how I think it is with the carob, with a lot of these things that you make. It's just people's taste buds adjusting to them and to these flavors, and a lot of the time it's to the flavor of real food versus chemicals that's added to food to make it taste like an orange or a pepper or whatever it is.
Well, I think the thing too is along the lines of what you're saying is eventually it's your gut that's going to respond and not be always inflamed and in pain and really happy. And to me, it's all about your gut. And this is what we're trying to do here is create foods for your gut so your body is not fighting, it's actually happy with what you're feeding your gut. So you do adjust, you adjust to your taste, your gut adjusts, and you feel better. You feel happier, and you can eliminate a lot of the challenges that we face.
One thing I'll ask you about coconut. Shaved coconut or raw, if it's raw or just shaved, that is good. It's
very good for your gut. I mean, it's a good fat, it's a healthy fat and a healthy protein. And so that's why using coconut milk, coconut creams are a much better choice over your dairy. And
because I could see the shredded coconut
oh,
on this.
Absolutely.
And, that
just as long as it's not the sugar coated. And a lot of what you find is sugar coated. And so you want to make sure and get the coconut that doesn't have all that.
Just raw coconut by itself, nothing else.
Yep.
Well, thank you. As you can see, delicious. Yeah, as always, it's so good. And the website, just one more time that people can get, recipes.
Yes, actually, erleentilton.com, ERLEENTILTON.com. And I will be posting, if these recipes aren't on, I will be posting them, but also make sure you get that personal wellness assessment. That is where we can begin to actually help get your gut in order.
Well, thank you, Erleen.
You're welcome.
So delicious. And thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And again, next month, second Tuesday of the month, again, back in the kitchen. And just have to wait and see what Erleen will be cooking up. But no, it'll be good for you, and it'll taste good as well. So thank you.